I'm not late or anything. I just thought you'd prefer staring at that image from last night, seeing that again from last night. Look at that image in the background, man. It is unbelievable. Last night still doesn't feel real. There's people, hope these are all good, hope these are all well. Loads of headaches, I suppose, loads of hangovers, and loads of people just watching the highlights over and over again, I'd imagine. So thanks for joining us on this live show on this Thursday night. This is something we're going to run every week. Don't know what that was. Every Thursday night live at 7. Obviously, we had the transfer show during the summer. Now this is just the Toon Talk live show, weekly show, Thursdays at 7. Get yous involved in the chat. That's the main part of this show. I want to hear from yous. I want to see what yous are saying and have a bit of crack with you lot, really. And thanks to Circle for sponsoring this show. As you can see in the top corner, QR code there takes you straight to the Circle app. Have a look, give it a download, have a little play around, see if you enjoy what you see. You can see it on the bottom of your screen there. A couple of quid enter the Millionaires game, and it's in the title. You can win £1 million. Enough of that, though. Enough of all that, because I'm still reveling in that win from last night. It still doesn't feel real. It honestly really doesn't. I remember doing Sky during the day yesterday and BBC and everything, and I was saying to them, like, it still doesn't feel like Champions League nights are back at St James's Park. And I said I don't think it will feel real until I'm in the stadium and I hear the Champions League anthem. We've been in the stadium, we've heard the anthem, we've seen the flags, we've wiped the floor with PSG, and Mbappe is left crying, running down the tunnel, he's away. And it still hasn't properly sunk in. Like, I've watched the match back today, and it's still, honestly, feels like a dream, waiting to be woke up. But thankfully, it is a reality. We did smash PSG 4-1, and we are going to talk about that in this video. We're going to look ahead to the West Ham game on Sunday, because that's where we're at now. When you're in the big boys league, you go from a couple of games a week, don't you? You know, it's Thursday now. Press conference tomorrow, Eddie Howe in the morning for West Ham. And then we head down to London for West Ham United on Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoff. So it's all go until then, because after that, we have got the international break. We have got the international break already. There was only one a couple of weeks ago, wasn't there? But I think this is the last one of the season. I think this is the last couple of games for the qualifiers. And there might be one more, actually, around March time. I'm not sure. Someone in the chat can let me know, I'm sure. But, let's just talk about last night. Let's enjoy it. And I'll jump into the comments first of all for you. Aaron is there as always. Big up, Aaron. Appreciate your support, mate. How's the head, Matty? Not very good, to be honest. And honestly, right, it's not even off the drink. I only had a couple of beers last night. It was just how hectic the day was. Probably the PSG ultras. Do you know what I mean? They're drumming the whole game. Give me a headache. And obviously the chanting the whole game. I lost my voice last night. My voice was gone. Even in the fan cams, you can hear the voice is gone. The constant singing, the constant buzz around the place. You know, oh, what a day! What an atmosphere! And I think that's the main reason of the headache. But it's just about going, try and get some sugar in you, calm it down. So, and perk us up a bit to get this show in a way, because to be honest with you, I'm shattered. And I'm looking forward to a nice night tonight in preparation for West Ham on Sunday already. Kevin watching all the way from Florida. Big up, Kevin. And I've got to say, you need to check out the what video was it? I put 3 videos out yesterday, and there's 5 fan cams out today. And there was mic issues with the fan cams, so apologies for that. A couple of them, well, most of them are fine actually, but Rubenstein's and the Parisian Londoners one, they seem to be a bit faulty, like they're picking up the background noise more. So that's something I need to look into. A bit of a nightmare, but one of those things, technical issues, now you can D. But speaking of Kevin there, you know, he's from Florida. I interviewed a fan from Chile yesterday. He's on the channel. Amazing story. Flew 30 hours for that game yesterday, and I bet it was worth every hour being stuck on a plane for that, because what a night. I'm glad we did it for him, and I'm obviously glad we did it for everyone else. But for fans like that to travel all the way from South America for the game, phenomenal support. So big him up again. And like I said, there's loads of videos yesterday. You need to check them out. We had the PSG fans on there. We had the Ultras in town. We had Keith Downey, Lon Robert, Johan Cabai. We had loads going on yesterday. It was a jam-packed day. So have a look at the content from yesterday and bloody subscribe if you haven't already, and give us a thumbs up. Well, so we've got Bonjourno Ian in there as always. Thanks, mate. Travis, PSG in the mud. Top of group death. How could you not love it? Everyone was calling me a bit mad. Well, they normally do, but even more so when that group of death draw was done. I did the live stream with yous lot for the Champions League live draw, and I was reveling in it. People were saying, "Oh no, man, I can't believe this. We've got PSG, Milan, we've got the group of death." I said, "We're going to top the group. And a lot of people laughed. Most people laughed. Well, who's laughing now? Well, we're only, there's only 2 games in, so we don't want to get too carried away. The job is not done. We are not through yet by any stretch of the imagination, but we are unbeaten in the first 2 games. We are top of that group, as Travis is saying already. And that was the hardest game last night. Well, PSG will be the hardest team, shall I say, out that group, I think, that we will face. Obviously, in Paris, it's going to be more difficult. The crowd did its job again last night, as they always do. But Dortmund and Milan were to him. I'd fancy to beat us both of them. I'd fancy us to beat Dortmund away. I really would. I look at Dortmund's team now. I look at their lineup from last night. I couldn't even say like, oh, I'd take him. I'd take that player. Not for me. I look at Dortmund's team. I'm meh. You know what I mean? And last night we came up against PSG, who at the start of this Champions League are one of the favourites, like they are every year. And look what we did to them. Push them aside with ease. So, it doesn't matter who we've got. It doesn't matter what injuries we have. Your Botman's missing. Lascelles comes in. Quality. Skipper in the Championship days to skipper in the Champions League. Quality. Fabian Shaw, 3 million. Best transfer in the history of mankind. £3 million for Fabian Shaw. And that was years ago. And now he's doing this, scoring screamers in the Champions League and keeping out the world-class strikers of PSG. And then there's been no Willock for a while. There's no Joe Linton. No Wilson. There's big players missing for the Toon, and we're still smashing it, absolutely smashing it. So unbelievable stuff. And I put something out on social media today as well. 2 years ago, October 2021, we were in the bottom 3 of the Premier League. We're just being beaten off Wolves. Mad. And then fast forward 2 years, we are top of our Champions League group and flying. Listen, top of the Champions League group. In the Champions League after 2 years. And that's all down to Eddie Howe. I don't want to hear anything about, it's money this, money that. The poetry last night of Sean Longstaff being the goal scorer, an academy lad. The beauty of Dan Burn, big Dan Burn scoring £12 million from I know he said Wigan there because he used to play for them years ago, didn't he? From Brighton. He was playing in Blythe Spartans. He was playing it for Yeovil 10 years ago. Was it Yeovil or Lincoln or something? He was playing in one of them lower leagues 10 years ago. And now he's scoring the Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain. And then Almiron. Brilliant. You know what I mean? He's on top form again. He loves October, doesn't he? He loves Halloween, Almiron. Every October he turns up, goes on a mad goal scoring run. Absolutely loves pumpkins, that lad. But, for me, Almiron, again, he was struggling big time under the previous regime. And then I've mentioned Shaw already. Those goal scorers last night, for them to be on the score sheet, fantastic. And I know, obviously, we had Bruno and Tonali in the middle of the park. But again, there's real poetry in Lascelles playing. You know what I mean? And Sven Botman missing out and Lascelles stepping in. There's something special about that now. There really is, and it's a testament to the dressing room. It really is, and the job that Eddie Howe and Tyndall and everyone else is doing, and that's why it was great to hear both of their names ring out at St James's last night. Gwen, hi Matty, what a great game last night. Still buzzing from the match. Didn't get home till 2:30. Adam, he did it properly. Well done. I didn't get home until after midnight. Got on the wrong metro. And then we nearly didn't finish filming until about 20 minutes before midnight, to be fair. It was a long old day yesterday, but it was worth it for that result. It was absolutely sensational. What else he's got in the comments? Remember, this is the main point of the show. Just interact with you lot. Hi, Matty, mate. What a game. Hello from London. Hello, mate. I'll be down London on Sunday, I think, for West Ham. I think we're going to West Ham. Probably confirm it tomorrow, but I'll see you down there, Adam, if you're going. Anyone, all the other Geordies that are heading down to West Ham, get your binoculars out in that stadium, miles away. Can't see anything. Adam's seen in the crowd, mate, on the TV. Hi, cheers. I've seen loads of people messaging us and tagging us in videos of being in the crowd last night. My last had seen us as well. So I got people to run it back, and it was like 2 minutes in when Gordon does the sliding tackle, and I'm gone mental. Like everyone else stand up clapping for a bloody interception. There's not a fan base in the world that cheers tackles and interceptions like Newcastle fans do. We absolutely love it because it might sound or look a bit over the top to some people, but it's not. It just shows how much we care for effort, commitment, dedication. That's what we care about. When Gordon and other players are chasing people down and getting stuck in, we can see the passion and we appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because you should be proud to wear the Newcastle badge and you should be grasping for it. Because us in the crowd are certainly passionate and proud about it. So we want to see the players with that as well. How many times you watched last night's highlights? Close to 1 million. Wilson smashes West Ham, I think, says Beth. I tell you what, Wilson hopefully will be ready for West Ham. We'll hear from Eddie Howe in about 5 minutes. He's jumping on people, so just give him 5 minutes and he'll be on the air call. No, he's not really, but he'll be doing his press conference tomorrow and he'll let us know. Or will he? Mind games from Howe normally, isn't it? You know, we did that thing with old Joe Linton and he was back early, so we'll see what his update is. You'll probably just see his touch and go, and I'd imagine that to be the truth, to be fair. Wilson, he wasn't even on the bench last night, but if he could come back against West Ham, at least in the squad, at least on the bench, because Isak's been doing a lot lately, and I'm not sure, I assume Alexander Isak is involved with Sweden during the national break. That would be, I don't want to say a risk or anything, because, you know, you want him to represent his country, but in terms of fitness, because he's played his arse off the last few weeks, you know, he's been playing a lot of 90 minutes, and he's been running up and down, a lot of effort, energy exerted from Isak, so he could do with a break. To be fair, he would benefit from the international break, I reckon, but let's hope he's not too exerted with the Swedish team. Wilson's obviously missed out on the international course because of his injury. Have been in Gareth Southgate's plans a lot lately. He scored in the last couple of games for England, but that squad today is horrendous, by the way. We'll just quickly touch on this. Let us know in the comments what you think of the England team. Southgate, man, what the hell is going on here? To be fair, and it's not just Jordy bias, like how is Dan Burn not on that team and Harry Maguire is? Dan Burn scoring in Champions League games against PSG. He's versatile, and Harry Maguire doesn't get a minute for Man United. When he does, he's hopeless. No sense in that. Calvin Phillips, I can do the same exact argument, but replace it with Sean Longstaff. Calvin Phillips doesn't get a minute of football, and when he does, again, he's hopeless. He was crap against us. He's so slow. He's got no effort. He doesn't care. He's so off the pace. And then you got Sean Longstaff, the complete opposite. Full of energy, full of running, full of drive and determination, and goals. Another one who is scoring in the Champions League. And they're not getting a call up. It's berserk. And then you've got Anthony Gordon, you know, arguably player of the month, banging in goals, form of his life, full of confidence. And he's missing out on West Ham. Let's not forget that. There's no Anthony Gordon this weekend at West Ham because he is suspended. So there's no Anthony Gordon for the trip to the Hammers. So that would have been a perfect opportunity for him to get in that England squad as well. He's represented in the 21s, player of the tournament, flying for Newcastle in the Premier League and the Champions League. What's Southgate doing, man? I honestly cannot wait for this bloke to leave. We're wasting the chance of winning the Euros next year by keeping that absolute sausage in charge. Like, go no. And you could even say, and again, I haven't even mentioned Nick Pope. Do you know what I mean? Nick Pope, he's not included, but you got Sam Johnstone and Ramsdale there. Ramsdale, again, who isn't getting any minutes for his club. He doesn't get picked for Arsenal anymore. And he's including Ramsdale. And I know Pope's not good with distribution, but neither is Ramsdale. That's why Ria's playing. You know what I mean? That's why Ria's playing. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Anything Southgate does, the teams he picks, I'm just sick of the bloke. He's absolutely crap. Just seeing that Almiron and Shaw being named in the Champions League Team of the Week. Every one of them should have been, to be fair. Every single one of them should have been in it. Matt says, any tears last night? Matt, he got no shame in saying I was slightly tearing up. I was very close, to be honest. Matt, I was very close to tears when it wasn't even the Champions League music, you know. I tell you what, in the San Siro, I nearly cried. I was very emotional. But I think because I'd experienced it then, I wasn't as bad last night. I was emotional when Longstaff scored. Right after half-time, 3-0 up, and I was like, holy crap, we actually are going to win this game. Like, at 2-0, you're thinking Mbappe, world-class, flick of the wrist, you know, switch the light, and bang, a goal could happen, and then 2 minutes later, bang, another goal, you know. The PSG do have those players, and to be fair, they responded very quickly to Longstaff's goal, didn't they? But when the third one went in, and when we went 3-0 up, I started to think, like, oh, yeah, this is something special. This is magical. This is magical, right? Never mind Disneyland Paris. We bought Paris to St. James's Park. You know what I mean? Disney at St. James's Park. Last night was something special. Like, and it was at that moment I was like, I can't actually believe what's happening. How on earth am I watching my team, Newcastle United, beating Paris Saint-Germain 3-0 at the time after 50 minutes in the Champions League, in this atmosphere around me? I was just like, it feels like a second ago I was in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? Or playing absolutely crap every week. Not even touching the ball, not even having shots on target, and they're Bruce and that. Travis underneath Matt there is asking standout man from last night, Matty. That is really, really hard to pick. To be fair, it's so hard to choose a standout player. I did a thing with Rob last night, and on his video, I said it was Sean Longstaff. So I just thought overall what he brought in the middle of the pitch and obviously getting his goal. But you could make a case for nearly every single one of them. I think Bruno was brilliant last night. I think Almiron, I was so pleased for him to get his goal, and he was running up and down non-stop. Fabian Shaw would be the next one for me, though. I'd have to say it's between Shaw and Longstaff, because Shaw contained them all night, never looked out of place, so composed, and you could give the same to the Lascelles next to him. You've got to remember now, Lascelles barely played any football until the last week. And in the last week, we've beat Man City, knocked them out of the cup. We beat Burnley to home clean sheet, and we beat PSG last night. And Lascelles is at the heart of that defence. But Shaw, for me, all round last night, so good on the ball. 1-2 steps ahead of everyone else. He might not have the pace of your Dembele's and Koulibaly's and that, but he didn't need it because his intelligence was there. So clever, such a good footballer. And then to get the goal at the end, the screamer, wow, absolutely unbelievable story. So I'll give Shaw / Longstaff my man of the match. As Aaron's saying there, good point about Lascelles. You know, I'll hold my hands up, and people like Aaron who've been on the channel for a long time watching will know that Lascelles has took some stick, as he has off everyone, let's be honest. You cannot sit there and say, every time I've been in St. James's Park, he's took some stick, but I tell you what, value him more than ever. Value him more than ever, because I would give him a new deal now, like, I really would. His contract runs out next summer, but he is obviously so important in that dressing room, because that's why Eddie Howe keeps him. His leadership skills, but then he's shown on the pitch, when required to be called upon, he can. And for me, I would still go out. I want another centre-back. We need that new centre-back. As good as Shaw and everyone else has been for squad depth and that, but I would keep Lascelles, no doubt about it. Would I give Lascelles another 2-year, 3-year deal and keep him here, because he came in, whenever he's came in, he's done a job. More than that, to be fair, especially last night and especially against Man City. Sam's looking ahead at the Premier League this weekend. Take a draw away to West Ham. I would. I'm not going to lie, I would. After that last night, if we can avoid defeat, I'm happy with that. And it would keep us around, 8th, 7th, something like that, depending on results. So I would definitely take a draw. Listen, that old cliche, or any point away from home in the Premier League is a good one. Against West Ham, it is. And actually, West Ham have played tonight, I think. Well, I know they have, actually. They kicked off earlier against Freiburg, but I don't know the score. So let's have a look at the score. It's still going on. And they are 2-1 up against Freiburg. And our good old friend, Bruno's best buddy, Brazilian, Lucas Paqueta, with the goal. And then Freiburg equalised, and then Ergaard scored. So it's 2-1 West Ham at the moment for them away to Freiburg in the Europa League. I know that was a bit blurry, waste time showing you that. But they played a really strong side tonight. West Ham played literally their strongest 11 at the start of this game. Something you can expect them to do, obviously, on the weekend. But Thursday night in the Europa League, away to Germany as well. So they're coming back from Germany. They've got less time than us. Listen, I think he likes the Longstaff and that'll be hungover. He would have had a cheeky BR last night, and he deserves it. He deserves the whole keg. But, West Ham travelling back from Germany, and like I said, they're a strong team. They've got Fabianski, their number one keeper. Ergaard, the top centre-back who scored. Kufal, Alvarez, who I really wish Newcastle had signed. He's been quality. He's got a yellow card tonight. Paqueta, wish Newcastle had signed. He's scored. Ward-Prowse, I would have had him as well. Again, that's injustice from Southgate not putting Ward-Prowse in the team. Fornals, hit and miss him, isn't he? Kudus, very good signing from Ajax. And Jared Bowen up top. West Ham are a dangerous team. So going back to Sam's point, I would definitely take a draw at West Ham on Sunday. I really would. No doubt about it. I think it could be a draw as well. I'll be doing the preview tomorrow, maybe Saturday. Nah, probably tomorrow. I get the preview out of the way with Eddie's presser. In an early prediction from me, it probably could be like a 2-2, something like that. I think there will be goals. I think both teams might be a bit tired, a bit open. And I'll take a point at West Ham, definitely. Jonathan, international break coming at the wrong time for momentum, but right time for injuries. Good point. After the effort last night, I'm a bit worried about Sunday. I hear that, I do, but I just think hopefully since the international break is on the horizon, right after that game, as soon as that full-time whistle blows, the lads have got, you say 2 weeks off. Most of them are playing for the country, aren't they? So they haven't, but at least away from the effort required of 2 games a week in the Premier League in Europe and Carabao and so hopefully we've got enough left in the tank to go to West Ham and get a result. let me move down from the comments and keep them coming in. What else we've got? Our win last night sent chills and shockwaves across the entire football world. That's it, like, and then listen, you've seen it with the PSG fans in my video. They were very cocky last night, and even on the preview now, you had Ginola on there, and he was saying, I don't think he'll do anything. You know, the disrespect, man, I'm telling you. I don't want to say arrogance or anything, but the word just naive to it. I think naive is a better word than that, because I don't want to give him any stick. Naive. Not understanding how good Newcastle are, underestimating Eddie Howe, not appreciating the St. James Park atmosphere, not realising how good it is. Because even against Stu, the PSG fan, he was like, what are you talking about atmospheres for? I know I've seen the atmosphere on TV and it looks good and everything, your black and white flags and that, but we've played all over Europe, you know, we've played at Madrid, we've played in Germany, we've played at Liverpool, Anfield, you know, they've played everywhere, Arsenal. And he was like, I've seen European atmospheres, mate. No. And then after the game, you'll see his fan cam, he didn't just about Yared because of the mic issues. He was saying that was unreal. He was saying unreal, hats off, much better than expected. And I think we were much better than anybody expected. Even Mika Richards and that on CBS was saying, you know, wow, I wasn't expecting Newcastle to be that good. I wasn't expecting the atmosphere to be this electric. And you was going to be top, but not like off the scale, because last night was literally off the scale. So, yeah, I think Solid Snake PC, great name, whatever that is. Metal Gear Solid, is that? Something like that? But shockwaves across the entire football world is so true. And everyone would have stood up last night and seen that result and been like, what the hell? I need to watch them highlights. You know what I mean? I need 4-1 Newcastle against Mbappe's PSG. I'm going to have to watch that. What's this? Newcastle, the new boys, the Geordie boys. Yeah? Unbelievable stuff. We really did send a big statement out there to everyone last night, and to be top in this group of death is unbelievable. Cheers for that one, Joshua. I appreciate it, mate. West Ham 2-1. There's an early prediction there from Stapleton. Well, I tell you what, when it went to 3-0, they were quiet for a good couple of minutes and they scored and then they came back again. But then at the end, I think they were all just shell-shocked, like the last comment was saying. I think they were all just like, couldn't believe what they were watching and that, because all the PSG fans I chatted to during the day were like, 3-0, 3-1, 4-1, you know what I mean? All of this, you're not going to even score. You're right, we didn't score one, we scored 4. Cushy baguettes or anything like that. Cushy baguettes all round. We did have some cushy baguettes last night. Like, it's criminal that Southgate squad, says Henning Klepper, we're talking about before. It is awful. Southgate is a disgrace. He is like. Southgate is biased against NUFC. Hopefully, England don't go for King Eddie to replace Southgate one day. Maybe one day, but that day is far down the line. I don't think Eddie Howe would leave Newcastle for any job. Honestly, I don't. I don't think if, obviously you learned a lot off Simeone, Atletico Madrid. I think even if Atletico came for Eddie Howe, Real Madrid came for Eddie Howe, anybody came for Eddie Howe, I don't think he'd want to be anywhere else in the world right now. He's at the most exciting project in the world. He's got owners and fans that trust and adore him. Why would you? He's got a squad that's got total belief and trust in him as well. Everything is going our way right now, and he's got plenty of time. He's got that credit in the bank for me, and I hope the owners feel that way as well. Because even at the start of the season, when the first few games wasn't great, you had some fans saying, "Oh, it's a bit sticky this now." I said, back him, keep backing him, and it's proven. Do you know what I mean? He's a top class manager, and he's still getting slept on for me. He's still getting underrated, and that's fine by me. And I'm sure it's fine by him. Let's keep going under the radar. Let's keep smashing teams. We'll keep doing our thing. But next year, obviously, Southgate is leaving England. Thank God for that. The FA, they're trying apparently line up a Pep Guardiola. I would absolutely love that, because then we actually might win something. And then obviously it would help Newcastle as well, because then Man City would be having a big miss losing Pep. Obviously, they'd still have the best players in the world, but can't shadow what Pep Guardiola does there. So if Pep, that would be perfect. But I'm not sure if that would happen just yet. But I know that Eddie Howe is not leaving Newcastle for England. If they came calling next year, I think down the lane it'll definitely be a goal of his. I think it would be a huge honour for Howe to manage England, but I would say at least 5 years, maybe even 10 before he even does that, because he is a young manager. So for him to take an international job, you've seen how much he lives and breathes football. He talked in the documentary about not being able to have a weekend off with his kids because he's just constantly thinking and focusing on football and that. So I couldn't imagine how really fitting into the international football lifestyle. Just watching matches every weekend for 3 months and then having a week with players. It wouldn't make sense to his personality, I don't think, yet. Like, what else we've got? Oh, Real Madrid scouts weren't watching Bruno last night. Well, I'm sure they are, mate. Constantly watching him. But he's not got anywhere yet. How do we not have a song for trips? We do. It's Kieran Trippier over the wall, Ryan Taylor style. Kieran Trippier over the wall. But I do agree that it should probably be better, or we should have at least another one. There's another one on where it says Kieran Trippier. It's like the Almiron one, and there's another one similar. But maybe you should have a better one, because he was the first through the door, and he's been unbelievable, hasn't he? Just like ridiculously good since signing for us, and he still is every single week. He's getting better. He's getting better every week. You know, these assists this season, and how good he was last night. Now it's completely stopping Mbappe was quality. Let's have a look through some more comments then. We've been going for half an hour already. This is ridiculous how quick this has went. It's so good though. I love doing this show for you, just so we can have a bit of crack in the comments. Gordon's going to be a big miss against West Ham. He certainly is. Interesting this from Matt. Would start Livermore, Hall, Anderson and Murphy on Sunday. Well, Anderson, someone's just made the point now there above about Anderson coming back on the left. I think it was Aaron. And that could be something he looks at. Depends on the fitness of others. But yeah, we need to replace the left wing because Anthony Gordon's not there, is he? So Hall as well down there. Livramento could come in for Trippier. Maybe Trippier's obviously off on international duty. Murphy for Almiron, potentially. You know, there's things that could be done there. Like, I would love to see Livramento again, to be honest, because he was brilliant against City in the cup, wasn't he? But I think we'll have to make a couple of changes, but not as many as we would have if there was an international break. If there was another game next Wednesday or even next Saturday, then I think we would have had to ring quite a few changes. But for this weekend, hopefully there's not too many to be done. Rashid 10 says Newcastle big up. We can't even beat Galatasaray at home. You're struggling, mate. You're struggling. How are you feeling ahead of that Carabao Cup game, eh? Let us know, Rashid 10. Only a few weeks now. We'll play Man United in the next round of the Carabao Cup. I wish it was next week. The sooner the better for me. The way Man United are playing at the minute, Onana, Ten Hag, all the problems. I wish there was an international break next week and we're going to Man United on Wednesday. Honestly, that would be brilliant. What else we got then? 2-1 West Ham, says Ian. Cornerback's better than Henderson, says Jacob. Literally the same player. Let's have a look. A few more comments at the bottom. Get them in. Get the last few comments in. We'll be doing half an hour now. I'll probably do another 5-10 minutes. So get your comments in. Then remember, this one is sponsored by Circle. The QR code is in the top corner of your screen. Scan the QR code. Download Circle. Have a little play around. See what you think. And like I say, at the bottom of the screen there, you can see they've got the Millionaires game, which is a couple of quid enter, and you can become a millionaire. No skill, no nothing. Just look. Circle. Like a football sweepstake app. So have a look at that. Get involved. I honestly wouldn't trade Howe for any man. Surely manager of the month coming his way. Well, Howe's up for manager of the month. Trippier is up for player of the month in the Premier League. And I agree, mate. Honestly, I wouldn't swap them either. Chris Super says Julian is the new Yaya Toure. Love it. Big comparisons. And again from Chris with another comparison. Eddie Howe is the new Bobby Robson. Hopefully he's on his way, and he's doing what Sir Bobby Robson did for Newcastle and giving us some great European nights. So long may it continue. Matty, which one of our players could be scouted and bought by a big team in the near future? Bruno's the obvious one with that release clause for 100 million. Bruno's the obvious one. Bruno's the one that's getting looked at by your Real Madrids of the world. So I'll have to roll with him. Really, I would. Bruno, Isak's been linked with some big European teams and Arsenal recently. I mean, Arsenal are apparently eyeing up Alexander Isak. Are you? All right, well, we're eyeing up Saka. So does it matter? Jimmy, we'll just take Saka off them and we'll keep Isak. Does it matter? Arsenal eyeing up Isak. Oh, he is, right. Well, downgrade. Does he want to downgrade, does he, to Arsenal? Alexander Isak? Because one of us won in the Champions League this week and one of them got beat. So we played the Paris Saint-Germains of the world, the French champions. You played Lens and got beat off Lens. So why would Isak want to go in there? Oh, he's gone anywhere. Isak on the left on Sunday, says Jacob. Could be, but if Wilson's not fit, then there's Nout down the middle. But ideally, you would have Isak down on the left and Wilson down the middle for West Ham would be great, to be fair. Barcelona 3-2 or PSG 4-1? PSG 4-1 for me. Obviously, I'm saying that because I watched it a bit closer, seen it a bit better, soaked it in a lot more. Well, I wasn't even at the Barcelona game. What am I talking about? I was 5 years old or something. But for now, PSG, even if you look back, though, if I just saw the highlights, I would say PSG 4-1 because I think it looks better on paper. I think Barcelona was more about Tino Asprilla, his brilliance, him winning the game single-handedly almost, where last night it was a total team effort. We do not win there without the whole team clicking and playing as one. So everyone deserves it last night. We had 4 different goal scorers smashing PSG out of the park, and Mbappe, best player in the world, he's coming there. Luis Enrique, he was playing for Barca back in that 3-2 defeat, and he was there last night as manager for PSG. So I wouldn't mind him playing Enrique every week, like if he wants to keep coming to Toon, that'd be brilliant. We'd love to see Miley get some minutes against West Ham. Yeah, that would be decent. Cheers, Ian. I'm glad I look knackered, mate. Thanks for the compliment. My bangs under my eyes, not bad, are they? Hopefully not. But you're right, though. I am knackered. I appreciate the content for the past 2 days' quality. I have, to be fair. It's been a very busy week, but it's all worthwhile, isn't it? Minta was decent last night. I think Minta looks mint, to be fair, doesn't he? He looks quality. Get him back next year. It's great that he's having this run out of Feyenoord. Very good, decent league to learn him, but obviously the Champions League as well. And the goals he's scoring. Wow. Get Minta in. I'm looking forward to Minta joining up next year. Or maybe they give him another year somewhere, but I'd be tempted. He looks like some talent. Looks like it could be one hell of a signing that in a few years to come for Newcastle, Yankubu Minta. It looks like a real bargain at the minute. Who comes to mind if you could choose one player out of the squad in January? Centre. It's hard, isn't it? Because I say a centre back, but then you got Lascelles stepping in and doing a job, but then you think right winger, but Almiron's scoring again. You think where else do we need it? Maybe a striker because of now when if Wilson's injured, we've got no one on the bench, or we'll run Isak into the ground. How fit's he going to be? So maybe a striker, but in terms of names, it's going to be hard to bring in a striker that's going to be competing with the channel with the team in terms of being happy to compete, knowing that he's going to be on the bench some weeks, knowing that he's going to be out wide. Because I would love to honestly bring Ivan Toney back. I would love to bring Toney back, but they're going to want 80 million. And I think Toney would add a dimension to our team that would be a bit different, but he could also graft if he's willing to graft, which I'm sure he would. I hope he would. Bring him back Newcastle. 80 million is what they're asking for at least. Brentford, I don't think would spend that. So maybe look abroad. Where you obviously link with that Gonzalo Ramos, weren't we, who played for PSG last night? Didn't see much of him. He didn't catch the eye, but no one did. Nobody in the PSG shirt did, apart from the midfielder. Actually, what was that midfielder? Was he Emery or what was he? 16-year-old or something? That midfielder, 30, number 33 or something. He looked like a top talent, but maybe a striker. To be honest with you, now maybe a striker because the lack of depth is worrying. Really, we've only got 2 strikers at the club, haven't we? Isak and Wilson. And if we get through the group stage, out of the group stages, the Champions League, you've got the FA Cup in January starts as well, and then obviously the Carabao Cup if we're still in that. So I'm going to say a striker at the minute. a name, I'm going to have to come back to you on that one, mate. Like I said, Tony or someone abroad, but you've got to be realistic with a budget and that. Shout to that one, Carl. Appreciate it, mate. If you're all enjoying the content, do give away a thumbs up and subscribe. No worries, Ruben. Enjoy that offshore work. Thanks for tuning in. Chris, how do I donate to your channel, mate? I love your channel. Thanks very much, Chris. Appreciate that, mate. Well, there should just be if you are in the chat, there should just be an option to do a super chat. So you should just be able to donate there if you kindly want to. On the super chat, you'll just be able to drop a comment in there. I don't know. I can't remember how to do it, but it should be an option on there in the chat to click super chat or click an amount how much you want to donate. Or you can also become a member of the channel, where there is a link in the description, in the video description, to become a member on the channel. Where you can pay a couple of quid a month and you get some benefits, some bonuses. We've been doing a lot of giveaways lately. Some lucky bugger won the War Beer giveaway last month, which was the 12 cans of War Beer, a War Flags t-shirt, the coasters, the posters, loads of stuff. A big, huge bundle for just being a member on that giveaway. Went out on social media as well. And what else we got coming up? I've got a bucket hat coming up, actually. So the European nights, bucket hat's good for them, innit? Especially if you're going abroad, if you're going to Dortmund or Paris away. But I've seen plenty of people wearing them last night, and you could be wearing it right now, just watching the highlights, to be fair. So I will be doing a bucket hat giveaway this month on the channel. So to win that, you can become a member, a couple of quid, support the channel, and then you're in with a chance of winning a few prizes and some other extra bits and pieces coming your way, content and stuff. What else we got? Last couple of questions I'm going to do. Last couple of questions now. 40 minutes we've been going for, but it's flying over. Last couple of questions, people. Just that one, Dan. Appreciate it, mate. Doing all right, to be fair, on the with how knackered I am from the last couple of days, especially last night. But we're powering through. Just that one, Dan. Mbappe doesn't like Greg sausage rolls. Well, the French don't like sausage rolls by the looks of it, because those PSG fans were launching sausage rolls that way. Yeah, you'll have to watch the video I did yesterday where I say that the PSG ultras clashed with the Toon fans. The big market videos I got. I couldn't follow them up at the stadium because then I went to Pumphrey's to do my pre-match chat that I do on the big market every match day. Pre-match chat at Pumphrey's about an hour before kick-off, half an hour before. No, it's an hour before kick-off. Sometimes an hour and a half, hour before kick-off. We'll do a pre-match chat before the game. And on the video, as I was saying, with the PSG and fans clashing with the Toon fans, I looked at it back today and I was laughing because they literally launched a sausage roll over they started chucking glass balls. That's not funny. That's not funny. French. I was gonna say something else there. I'll just call them Frenchmen's. That's not funny. No glass bottles. That could hurt. Sausage rolls, I think it's funny. I'm not bothered with sausage. Well, I would be. I don't really fancy some being covered in greasy, beefy pastry, meaty pastry, or even if it was a vegan one. I wouldn't like that either. But, a sausage roll being thrown over, I don't want that. But it was kind of funny because I think the bloke in front of me on this video, the PSG fans clashing with the Newcastle fans, have a look at it. Go have a look at it after this. You haven't seen it already, or go back to the moment. I think it's hilarious. The bloke in front of me didn't think so, but a sausage roll comes flying over the top of the police van, over the police from the PSG end to the Newcastle fans, and he hits this bloke in the chest. And he's like, whoa, 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 man. He absolutely hated being hit with a sausage roll. I've never seen someone so offended at me. Like, he was kicking right off. He started charging towards them because someone threw a sausage roll at him. I think he was scared more than anything. Like, I think he got afraid that something hit him, and he thought it might have been actually like a harmful object at the time, maybe a glass bottle or whatever, but it was just pastry, so he was fine, but he was booting off like it was quality. Cheers, Chris. Found out how to do the super chat. Appreciate that, mate. Matty, new striker. Chris wants a new striker in January, and I think I've changed my tune. To be honest. I was thinking a centre back. I was thinking maybe a right winger. I think Murphy and Almiron will do the job, or like Aaron's saying there, Kaiser, on the right would be brilliant, but a third choice strike, someone down the middle. Or if you could get someone who could play right and down the middle, that would be perfect. So they could replace an Almiron, or they could replace a Wilson or an Isak. This would be the top pick, mate, but that's going to be 100 million plus. I think, has he not signed a new contract where he's got a release clause of 100 million or 130 million? Brighton are wanting about 100, 130 million for him, is what they said. And to be fair, in this day and age, this kid's meant to be the next Harry Kane. It's a bit too soon for me, all that, but he's meant to be the next big thing. He looks the part, brilliant against us. So yeah, I would love Ferguson. He would be quality, but that is going to cost a hell of a lot of money. But if we can get around FFP somehow, then why not? Bring Tony back, and he's got a tenner on us to win, right? Well, hopefully not, because we wouldn't want to sign him and then him get suspended again. This is the baller from last night, Zaire Emery. Get him signed up now. Get him signed up. It's all right if Bruno does leave the Real Madrid, we'll just sign Zaire Emery. Insigne from Toronto FC, Matty. I don't know how much extra you get for getting through the knockouts, to be fair. 17 years now, that Emery. Mental. Last couple of comments then, people. Cheers, Ruben, for letting them know how to get a super chat in there just to support the channel. The dollar sign on the bottom right. Nice one. Andrew, see him in there quite a bit last night. See him in here quite a bit. So big up, Andrew. No worries, mate. You can watch it back. That's the joy of it. You can go watch it back. I didn't actually. Well, I did. I had 2 or something. I only had a couple of beers last night. To be fair, I was too busy grafting the whole time. But still, totally enjoyed it. Still unbelievable, man. Still unbelievable. Big up Sean Evans for becoming a member. Really appreciate that one. Obviously, I was just telling people there about the benefits of becoming a member. Supports the channel. Lets me keep going and keep running things. And then there's giveaways and stuff for you lot and other extra benefits available. So shout out Sean for becoming a member. What we got? Last couple of comments, right? We're going to go for another 2 minutes, minute and a half. We're going to go 45 minutes live. We've done a full half of football on this live stream. Last couple of comments. Let's fly through them. You need to get on pitch side or the club, Matty. Talk some sense into them. A lot about the Toon. Says Ryan. Wouldn't mind a bit of that, mate. Wouldn't mind a bit of that. Hopefully you'll keep doing it, mate. Really upped your game for the match last night. Well done. Finally bumped into Matty at a home game. It was near all the chaos of the PSG fans. It was chaos, it was chaos. Should go get a young striker. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was trying to think of when I said abroad. Benjamin Sesko. He's the one that we were looking at during the summer as well, wasn't he? That could be a great shout. Someone who can learn, someone who's happy to compete, doesn't expect to be starting every week. Because if you were going to sign in Ivan Toney, a big name like that for big money, he would expect to be starting every week. And wouldn't that be harsh on your Isaacs and your Wilsons for how well they're doing? So a Sesko, someone like that, great shout. And I'm going to leave it on that great shout because you could get him for about 30 million probably. And then I think he can play wide as well. And like you said, really learn off your Wilson and your Isaac. So there we go then. There is 45 minutes of your Thursday night live stream. Remember, every Thursday night, live at 7, just a general chit-chat. We've talked about the PSG game. We've talked about the West Ham game coming up. And most importantly, we've talked to you lot in the comments. And that's what this show is all about, to interact with you valuable members and subscribers and viewers. So thanks again, people. If you haven't seen the content from yesterday, check it out. There's loads of videos. There's fan cams, there's vlogs, there's reactions, there's videos during the day, throughout the day, building up with special guest interviews. So there's loads of good content out there for you to enjoy. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll have the match preview for the West Ham game. Talk about Eddie Howe's press conference in that. We'll have a nice little rest on Saturday before we travel down to London for the game against West Ham, where again there'll be vlogs, reactions, and all of that sorts of content coming your way. Cheers, people. Appreciate your support as always. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, smash a like on it. Subscribe to Magpie Channel TV and enjoy yourself. Au revoir. Au revoir.